inside the 25th Street Gymnasium at Easton Area High School. We welcome you to East Penn Conference Wrestling on Service Electric, a matchup of two traditional Lehigh Valley powers as the Nazareth Blue Eagles take their 3-0 record into Easton to take on the Red Rovers. Hi again, everybody, and Happy New Year. Alongside Scott Hovan, I'm Kyle Berger. Glad you're with us for Service Electric's coverage tonight of high school wrestling, Friday night special between the Eagles and the Red Rovers, Scott, and a matchup of those traditional powers. Nazareth really loaded this year. Easton, maybe not a great dual meet team, but some individuals to watch tonight.
Yeah, Nazareth is loaded. When they're bringing in 5 state place finishers, 4 of them we're going to see tonight versus Easton's 2 state place finishers. So there's going to be some high quality wrestling this evening.
Our matchups will begin at 145 pounds, which is basically the start of Nazareth's Murderer's Row with Deshaun Farber. And you go down those first 5-6 weight classes for Nazareth, Scott, and Easton's got a pretty tall order tonight.
Yeah, Coach Kroll's got to be extremely happy with this start at 145, because by the time that they get done at 220 heavyweight, even possibly where the matchups are, they're going to probably have a little bit of a lead over Easton, and we'll see what Easton can do.
Well, you highlight Drew Cleary at 182 pounds. He was 6th in the state last year, 50 pounds ago at 132 pounds. One of the lightweights to watch for Easton, 113-pounder Braxton McCullough Prize. He was an 8th place finisher in the state last year.
Yeah, we're going to see. He's a very competitive kid. We got a little sprinkle of freshmen in there as well. They got Nazareth's got some great freshmen coming out, and we also got Falcone, their Hersig matchup, which should be probably one of the feature matchups tonight.
These two teams were both at the Hurricane Christmas Classic over winter break last weekend, and Easton and Nazareth matched up 4 times. Nazareth won all 4 of those bouts, so the Red Rovers out for a little revenge tonight. We'll take a break, come back for the start of tonight's match right after this. Back inside Easton Area High School, Nazareth at Easton tonight on Service Electric. Kyle Berger, Scott Hovan, and the rest of our Service Electric crew with you here tonight. And a matchup that does not technically count as a league matchup because they're in 2 different divisions this year. Particularly that starting lineup. And Scott, as we mentioned off the top, starting at 145 is going to make things very difficult for Easton. You look at all of those wrestlers in the top 5 spots for Nazareth and a bunch of state medals amongst those guys.
Yeah, I can't think of Nazareth getting a better starting point than this. And it really makes a big impact on the overall dual meet. If Nazareth can get ahead like we think they can, it's going to change the way that Easton wrestles in this dual meet a little bit later on.
So Nazareth, coached by Dave Kroll, 17th season at Nazareth, 35th overall. He's won 532 matches in his career at 257 while at Nazareth. And we mentioned going to break how well Nazareth did in the Hurricane Classic over Christmas break. 12 out of their 14 wrestlers left with medals. That is not an easy tournament either. And Nazareth won that one running away. And Coach Kroll has to be very happy with the direction the team is going. There's Larry Dieter, who's our official tonight for the coin flip with the captains. But I mean, that is just bad news for the rest of the Lehigh Valley, the way things went at the Hurricane Classic.
Well, you hope that a team like Nazareth maybe hits a few bumps in the roads and maybe has a few things happen, maybe not go their way, but they are solid this year. The only thing that I would say is that, Easton gets a break at maybe 126 with Andrew Smith out, a returning place finisher, not going to be in the lineup tonight due to some,
Yeah, he has not wrestled since the East Stroudsburg Southfield. Smith has not. But plug in Vinny Hevel, who took 4th at the Hurricane Classic over the break. So just next man up for Nazareth. And for Easton, a lineup that only has 4 seniors for head coach Jamar Billman, a 3-time All-American at the NCAA level. And a little bit of a rebuild, if you will, for Easton. But we are about to get started here at 145 pounds. We're underway as it's Deshaun Farber for Nazareth and Anthony Apgar for Easton. Farber, 2nd place in the state last year, gets an early takedown and takes the lead. right on the boundary. Farber finished 8th at the Beast of the East, lost to Jagger Condomiti in the Hurricane Finals last weekend by a score of 9-3. Those two will meet several more times this year. Prior to coming to Pennsylvania, or returning to Pennsylvania, I should say, Farber was a 2-time state champion in the state of Georgia. He'll be going to Lock Haven University next year. Another takedown for Farber, and showing us the aggressiveness right off the bat here.
Lock Haven's fortunate. They're going to get a very good wrestler in Barber. He's got great leg attacks here. You can see the level change there 3-4 times. Apgar really is going to have his hands full tonight as a sophomore going against this seasoned senior.
Another beautiful single and a finish for Farber. 3 takedowns in the first 60 seconds. Looks like he's got that cradle locked up. Plenty of time to work with here. Apgar trying to get large underneath. Was able to break the grip initially, but Farber back to work.
It's trying. Apgar doing a good job here fighting this cradle. I thought that was going to be trouble for Apgar, but you know, Easton's no stranger to the cradles, and Apgar does a nice job. Actually, excuse me, that's Farber that brings him back down to the mat, and he's got a bar tilt.
Did get a 2 count. Farber got a little loose. Apgar is going to come around the back. No change, but 2 near fall for Farber off of that tilt. Had Apgar exposed while his shoulders were out of bounds, but Farber still in, so 8-2 the score. 19 seconds to wrestle here in the opening period.
Set. Head over the back. Go ahead.
Apgar, a sophomore for the Red Rovers. Back in the fall, Sean Farber and his family lost nearly everything in a house fire. As you see, looks like a fall coming off the lap tilt. And in fact, it is at 1:57. Sean Farber picks up 6 points for Nazareth. I think it was just going to be a 3-point near fall, but it was so tight, Scott, he was able to get the pin.
Yeah, he did a great job of, look how tight that is, controlling the arm and the hips there, pulled him into the pocket, nice. And 3.3 seconds left in the first period. Nazareth, like you said, Murderer's Row off to a great start.
Jake.
Here comes Jake Dressler, and he's got a quick takedown against Jerron Rayam. Here's your matchup. Another reversal here now for Rayam. Dressler's quickly out, so a little bit of back and forth here in the early going.
It's the way you love it. You want to see action, and this 5 points in the first 20 seconds.
You know, when you look at the matchups, obviously not favoring Easton in the early going, I'm sure Jamar Billman's just looking for the effort from the guys. Going up against some of the higher ranked opponents. Here's a takedown for Dressler. Got a 5-2 lead now.
And so far, I don't think he can be disappointed with the effort. It's a little bit of a bummer when you get pinned in a tilt, but you're getting pinned against a 3-time state finalist, 2-time champ. And Rayam's going out there as a senior and fighting well here. Now, he's in a cradle here. He's in danger on the edge of the mat. Let's see if he uses this space wisely here, which he does.
Yeah, he worked on that grip of Dressler. Broke it, they'll go out of bounds and back to the center. Second place last week in the Hurricane Classic for Jake Dressler. 5th at the season opening Cumberland Valley tournament. There's Dave Kroll observing. Adam Colombo, his assistant to his left, our right.
Set, go ahead.
Adam Colombo has been a mainstay in that program. He's been there longer than Crowell. He was an assistant for Ray Nonamaker, and he just loves to give back to the program and done a phenomenal job with it.
Got the low leg trap. Now he comes up top. Got a 3 count. Will recover and get 2 points near fall there. 7-2 now the score. Jake Dressler looking good here for Nazareth at 152 pounds. There's Jamar Billman, Easton alum, coaching in his 4th season at his alma mater.
Set, go ahead.
3-time NCAA All-American, once at Penn State, twice at Lock Haven.
Nice tight waist, far ankle breakdown there. Cross face cradle, cross face here to the far arm. Oh, he slips in a Turk there, and he's going to pick up some back points. That was very nice.
Just a couple of one counts there, though. As Ram able to belly down. Still has that leg turked. Does Dressler. Now coming up with a half Nelson. He's got it pretty tight. And another
seconds.
fall with 3 seconds to go in the period. So back-to-back 1 minute and 57-second pins for Nazareth. And it's 12-0. 2 falls. But just one move right into the next there from Dressler made it real tough on Ram. That half was tight.
Yes.
So we go up to 160 pounds, and it's Nate Stefanik for Nazareth against Jordan Williams of Easton.
Good luck,
Stefanik,
guys.
a 12-2 record this year, a senior, will be headed to Princeton next year. Didn't get a chance to mention that Deshaun Farber going to Lockhaven, 145-pounder for Nazareth, who picked up a pin to start the duel. Stefanik quickly to a takedown and the free release.
All right.
I think he might have gotten poked in the eye. Larry Dieter checking on him. So the formula so far for Nazareth has been come out, get that early takedown, and then go to work.
Two green.
Another takedown for Stefanik.
Nice low single. Stayed low on the legs too, which made it difficult for Williams to really fight that. Picks up another takedown here.
Stefanik, a great athlete for Nazareth, was a wide receiver on the football team, named to the All-State team, and this year set the single-season receptions record for Nazareth football. A 2-time state medalist will suck back here, getting back points. Williams able to belly down, but Stefanik keeps that arm barred. 3 back points being held here. Tight one-on-one as Stefanik tries to roll Williams over.
Oh, he's got that half tight. If he can bring him back in bounds there. Williams does a nice job of circling out of bounds there.
And they
Smart
are
wrestling.
Yep. So 7-1 following the 3-point near fall.
You're down.
8th in the state last year, 7th in the state a year ago. Or 2 years ago, I should say.
Boston Red. Son, your knees are way in front of the line.
Between Nazareth and Easton, there's a total of 9 medals won between both teams.
Okay, go ahead.
What's interesting is 8 out of those 9 medals are between 6th and 8th place.
How about that?
Only one person, Farber, above 6th place with the runner-up finish last year in Hershey. So I'm sure a lot of these guys are looking to greatly improve upon that this year and compete for a state championship.
And I think it's a legitimate opportunity for Nazareth to maybe win the state title, certainly at the individual tournament and maybe even the dual tournament. There's a little lap tilt from standing, close to a fall again for Stefanik here. There it is.
8 seconds.
1:52, the time of that fall. We've yet to see a second period yet after 3 bouts as Stefanik standing hazard tilt. So tight Williams could not get off his back. So it's been a perfect dual meet so far for the Blue Eagles. And here's one of our marquee matchups at 170 pounds. Connor Hersig, a 16-2 record as a senior, going up against Dom Falcone, a 6-1 record as a junior. This one was a 3-1 victory for Hersig a week ago at the Hurricane Finals, with Falcone finishing as the runner-up. So good individual matchup here. I don't expect a first period fall.
No. Hope that we see a little bit more than 4 total points scored, but these two wrestlers know each other very well. They're built in such a way that we're probably going to see a lower scoring match, although both of them have the explosiveness and the ability to open it up.
And depending on how things go in the future for these two as far as what weight class they wrestle. They could be wrestling for the next 4 years as well. Hersig is committed to Lehigh. Falcone committed to Army West Point. He's a year behind Hersig, but
both in the EIWA conference, and I'll tell you what, Army's having a very good season. They did very well down at the Southern Scuffle. Princeton's really coming on as a program, and obviously Lehigh is a traditionally strong program. So all the guys so far are going to see each other, and then Lock Haven, that's still part of what I believe is the EWL conference, where Farber's going to, and they got a good one. Lock Haven's got a good one in Farber. I think he can be very good at the next level.
Hersig keeping his back to the center of the mat. 30 seconds to wrestle in the opening period. Both these guys trying to work some wrist ties from neutral and some shots off of that. So far a stalemate in the standing position in the first period. Nobody real close to getting a takedown. And we will see our first second period of the dual meet.
Very reminiscent of a college-style match here. Two solid wrestlers.
Greens down.
Both very physically mature for high school wrestlers, and neither of them wanting to give away position, not making a mistake, and trying to look for that opportunity.
The false start caution on top of Falcone. And this following the formula of the final last week. It was 1-1 into the third period before Hersig got a takedown with 15 seconds to go. Imagine that 16-2 record for Hersig. He finished 7th at the Beast of the East. His 2 losses there, which are his only 2 losses of the season, were to nationally ranked wrestlers. So nothing to feel too bad about for Connor Hersig.
It's tough to go undefeated from the Lehigh Valley, especially if you're going to the Beast of the East. You're going to tournaments like Powerade and those type of tournaments. It's very difficult to go undefeated when you see that high-level caliber talent from all across the country.
Easton went to the Ironman, as you see a blanking on takedown so far in this duel. 7-0 Nazareth in that department. So good action despite the lack of takedowns for either of these two wrestlers.
Hersig got in on the legs earlier, and he is on a single there, but he's running out of mat space. Every time he gets in tight, they get to the edge of the mat.
Trying to bring Falcone back in.
He's got to watch his own ankles when he does that.
And a stall call as they go out of bounds.
You're warned.
So for Falcone, a first stalling warning.
And that's huge for Hersig, because that could play into the third period on their feet there. Hersig, all he's got to do is take a couple good shots and try to get that last stall call.
Oh, good duck under attempt there by Falcone, but Hersig quickly pounces behind. They'll go out of bounds.
It looked for a second there that Hersig had the spin behind of Falcone with a last-second reaction. Timed that well and squared up.
Down to about 20 seconds to wrestle here in the second period. A 1-0 lead for Nazareth's Connor Hersig. An 18-0 lead for Nazareth on the team score. 3 pins by Deshaun Farber, Jake Dressler, and Nate Stefanik started things off right for the Blue Eagles. We'll head to the third period with the score 1-0 Hersig. Again, lots of action, just not a lot of points. As Hersig will go, or Falcone rather, will go underneath. Or at least will try to. Hersig's going to try to win this one on his feet, giving him the free release to start period number 3. See that forward pressure by Hersig really kind of putting Falcone on his heels. And remember, the Easton wrestler has been warned for stalling.
You're right, and he's really leading with the top of his head. I'm surprised that Falcone isn't doing a little bit more with some harder snap-downs. Beautiful snag single there by Hersig. Pulls it in tight, and he's going to pick this one up on the edge finally.
was interesting when Hersig picked up the leg here, right prior to the start of our replay. It was right in front of us, and you could see Falcone almost looked like he was going to leap out of bounds, but then remembered he had the stalling warning and didn't, and winds up yielding the takedown.
Well, he timed it perfectly. Falcone stepped into it. He hit that snag single, and I don't know if you noticed that, but as soon as he went for that trip, Hersig, on Falcone, Falcone was reaching up to fix his headgear. And if you have to fix your headgear, you are giving your opponent an advantage. You got to get that thing on tight so it doesn't move. You should not be reaching up to fix your hair or your headgear in the match.
Oh, good go behind by Hersig right on the boundary, and he gets a 5-2 lead.
But this match is far from over because we're going neutral, and a takedown by Falcone could tie this up.
And he has given him the escape.
But this is where you need a leg attack, right? And Falcone hasn't taken a shot yet, so it's going to be very difficult for him to win this match. He doesn't develop that go-to takedown.
And it looks like Hersig's length is giving Falcone a little bit of a problem as well. He can't really shoot from outside on him. He's going to try to work something off a tie-up with 25 seconds to go. And Hersig not backing down. He's keeping the pressure on offense.
He's staying in good position. He's not going to shoot on him. And he's going to say, if you want to win this match, take me down.
Hersig protecting that 2-point lead. Here's a shot by Falcone. Hersig trying to go behind. Looks like he's going to survive here. And for the second straight week, beat Falcone by a couple of points. A 5-3 win for Connor Hersig. And it's 21-0. Nazareth leading Easton. So we will head to 182 pounds. Drew Cleary for Nazareth. Isaiah Reinert for Easton. Cleary 15-4 this year. Reinert 8-5. Both medalists at the Hurricane Classic last week. Cleary took second, losing to Joey Milano of Springford in the final. And a quick takedown here for Cleary. Reinert took fifth at the Hurricane last week. Cleary going to work on top. And I mentioned he's up 50 pounds from last year. He was sixth in the state at 132 pounds, which means that he's not your typical 182 pounder. He's going to be doing stuff like this on top that you're not used to seeing in the upper weights.
No, and you know, that's one of the things that I and some of our coaching staff used to look at when I recruited in college, is that when you look at an upper weight, when you see an upper weight that came from the light and middle weights and then became a heavyweight, they're definitely more offensive and aggressive wrestlers, and that's what you want. I remember Tommy Rollins, I think, was a 105-pounder from Ohio State, national champ.
He's lining up.
105-pounder his freshman year. Wrestled heavyweight in college.
Yep.
But they're more athletic. They have a bigger repertoire of technique. He's not a big dancing bear. And when you look at the middle weights, like the upper weights here, you want to pick guys that have come up through the lightweights.
So to escape off the restart, now Reinert in on a shot.
Boy, I'll tell you what, he recovered well because he got really extended off that shot, but he did a nice job of coming back in. He's got to post that. If he could raise up and post that ankle up high over his head, he's got to watch out for a spladle here, though.
Now, Cleary tried to lock up a cradle, but Reinert instead comes out the back, has the low leg. First takedown of the duel for the Red Rovers.
And stay right there on the edge, keep him flat. That's good wrestling there by Reinert. Wow, at first it looked like Cleary was coming out and gonna put a beating on him, but Reinert taking the lead going into the second period.
Good situational awareness there by the Eastern wrestlers. A look at that sequence we were just talking about. Cradle, but
Go ahead.
You know, he just got way out of position, fell down onto his hip there, and the smart move was to belly down and give up the two and not give up more back points.
Reinert on the bottom to start period number 2 with a 3-2 lead. First time that the Red Rovers have had the lead in a bout here.
Reiner doing a great job from the bottom position, getting out there, right in on a shot here. He can get to that far ankle. A nice split there by Cleary, showing great flexibility. Now here's that spladle that it looked like he was maybe trying to set that up earlier and he got too high, but look at Reiner's hand getting high on that leg there. Great job.
He will get the reversal. He never got a clean escape, so just a 2-point reversal there for Reiner. And now a 5-2 lead for the Red Rover 182-pounder. State qualifier a season ago.
Reiner lets go of that leg. He's ending up in a spladle position. Foul.
Escape given to Cleary. 5-3. A little bit past halfway in the second period. Both wrestlers shoot at the same time. A little clash of heads and they'll separate. This is the second time we've seen a shot from distance from Reiner, but he's able to recover before Cleary can counter.
You know, his leg attacks aren't beautiful by any means. Technically, they're out of position, but he does a nice job of recovering. He either gets out of it or he goes into it and doesn't stay in bad position long. I've always said that in high school, 90% of the takedown is just getting the shot on the leg and getting to the leg. And then 10% of the takedown is the finish. When you go to college, it switches.
Yeah, it was
10%.
Other way around.
The shot is 10% of it. So it's great to see guys shooting more here because the success rate is usually pretty good.
Closing seconds of the period. Cleary in on a leg. Reiner trying to step over. Final couple of seconds. No control. And no takedown awarded. So on to the third period. It'll be Cleary's choice. He'll go underneath, trailing 5-3.
I'm really having a lot of fun watching these two guys wrestle, especially for big guys.
Yeah, good scramble right at the end of the period here.
And watch how he kind of gets that arm trapped in there on the inside. Reiner traps that arm, which was allowed him to hold off there until the buzzer.
So now you get a chance to maybe see who's in the best conditioning shape right now. It was going to the third period in a tight match. Reiner leading 5-3 on top and making Cleary work hard underneath.
Good adjustment there. He's got to watch himself though there. Cleary now trying to, Cleary, if he can get off his hip there. See that left hip down on the mat? He's got to get off that hip. He wants to be able to get behind, but Reiner does a good job, if you notice that, of hitting him down on that hip all throughout the bout. He can force a stalemate here, he'll be okay.
Wow, great recovery by Reiner, who really just never lost positioning there and control of Cleary. 1 minute to go.
A lot of wrestlers would feel very uncomfortable in Reiner's position, but he seems almost very comfortable in that position.
So there's the escape. Scores 5-4. Cleary needs a takedown. Reiner needs to avoid it.
Down block and spin behind because you know the shot's coming.
Little reshot attempt by Reiner. 35 seconds to go. Cleary trying to stuff the head and get behind. Spins around, lost it.
Great attempt by Cleary, but even Reiner just knowing where he was and turning the correct way. They're picking up the two there on that. What do they call that? Like an ankle limp out? Or Terry Polat used to be excellent at that, and Robert Hamlin
Yep.
at Lehigh was very good at this. You get down to the ankle here and they try to spin behind. Problem was he didn't keep his height. He had to stay high and he went down low. So good wrestling, both guys.
Yeah, about 15 seconds to go here. A 3-point lead for Reiner trying to pick up the first victory for the Red Rovers. Cleary to his feet. Takedown will tie it. Reiner shoots in. Cleary in a scramble. 6 seconds to go. Trying to finish. And did he get two? I don't know. 2 points awarded. Sure looked to me like time ran out.
Well, I think the clock ran out, but the buzzer didn't go off for another half a second.
So
Larry, the buzzer. but the time on the clock was out.
Let's listen in. Yeah. No takedown, says Larry Dieter, and I believe that is the correct call. Based on where we saw the clock and where the takedown ultimately finished. Reiner hangs on for the win by the skin of his teeth, but an exciting match at 182 pounds between two really good wrestlers.
That match right there was worth the admission money for every single fan in this gym. And what a huge win for Reiner, the state qualifier, knocking off a state medalist. He's going to be able to build on that confidence.
Good luck, guys.
So there's your team score, 21-3, as Easton picks up their first win, and at 195 pounds, Anthony Emberdino for the Rovers and Joe Capabianco for Nazareth. Capabianco actually weighed in at 182 tonight for Nazareth, so he is bumping up a bit. He did finish 8th at 195 in the Hurricane Tournament last week. Emberdino, a freshman, a 2-3 record for the Red Rovers this year, trying a high crotch shot. Capabianco goes to a front head and arm for the defense, and they'll go out of bounds. You know, we talk about takeaways from this duel for Jamar Billman and Easton and the coaching staff. You got to be super pleased with Isaiah Reiner going up against a really tough opponent and hanging on for that victory at the end.
Nice duck under there by Capabianco here. Let's see if he can finish it for the mat, which he does. And getting back to your point, Kyle, he's got to be pleased with the way his guys are competing against a very, which I would call an elite high school program and team.
Nice locked up. Emberdino in trouble. Capabianco trying to get that left shoulder down on the mat. And there's the fall. Comes at a minute 15 at 195 pounds. Fourth pin of the evening for the Blue Eagles as Joe Capabianco picks up the fall at 195 pounds.
A lot of athletes, a lot of parents, they hang their hat on whether they won or lost, right?
Yep.
The great athletes, whether they win or lose, it doesn't matter. They go back and they evaluate their performance. And the final score really shouldn't matter if you got that last takedown right at the end.
Good luck, guys.
Here's a matchup at 220. Stephen Schott and Matt Cruz. We'll say rematch of the Hurricane Classic final a week ago at 220 pounds. Schott pinned Matt Cruz in the second period last week to take the gold medal. Also finished 6th at the Beast, did Schott. And Cumberland Valley finished 3rd, wrestling up at 285 pounds. He was a state qualifier a year ago. And they'll go out of bounds here right in front of us. Cruz, a sophomore, 8-3, finished 6th in the district last year with a 17-18 record. It's been all Red Rover, or all Blue Eagles, I should say, so far, winning 5 of the 6 bouts contested.
And what I was getting back to, Kyle, is the 3 points by Easton on the scoreboard does not necessarily show how well the Easton team is wrestling so far against an elite team. This is where Easton's at. They're not on the same level as Nazareth, but you gotta like how they're coming out, at least fighting and competing tonight. Some of it may be being in their own gym. This is their house in front of their own crowd.
Yeah, always good to get that experience in this type of atmosphere.
2 nice sized 220s here. Level change and get a nice leg attack on guys that are this big there, because when they come down with that weight and their leverage, creates easy spin behind. So both guys a little bit tentative, feeling each other out, trying to see what kind of setups maybe they can work here.
Point well taken, because you dive under a 220 or a heavyweight and that sprawl comes chest on your back. All your oxygen just leaves your body. on that impact. Final seconds here in the first period. Looks like it's going to end scoreless between Stephen Schott and Matt Cruz. Schott ranked 5th in the state by PA Power Wrestling. Cruz
Red
first.
Green down.
See Schott picking the bottom position here in the second period. No score.
Set, go ahead.
Already on our 7th bout of the duel.
Set.
4 first period falls for Nazareth over the first 6 bouts as Schott separates and gets the escape. Low single there. That time, Scott, the shot so deep he didn't have to worry about getting caught underneath Cruz.
No, and that's exactly how you want to shoot at 220 on these bigger wrestlers. But I'll tell you what, great job by Cruz of scrambling and using his length to get to those ankles, making it more difficult for Schott to try to come out the back door here.
Trying to get his head and hips high, comes around back. There's 2 really nice, almost lightweight scramble between a couple 220-pounders there. And
Schott was very patient with that. And what helped him out, Kyle, was that when you get low on the ankle like that, it prevents that big guy from getting all his weight over top of you. So you could post him up or you could come out the back door. Much better than shooting a double and getting sended and getting sucked underneath there.
Dave Crowell looking on. You wouldn't know by his facial expression what the team score is right now, but
doesn't look very happy.
No, it's interesting, but hey.
Does that surprise you?
Not at all. I mean, I would never want to play him in a game of football.
How often have you seen your wrestling coach in high school ever happy?
Well, when I was on the mat, never. Hey, occasionally, I guess.
Come on, Kyle, you're a little better than that.
3-0 lead here for Stephen Schott, the senior Blue Eagle. State qualifier a year ago. One of those guys for Nazareth who the Blue Eagles would love to see on the podium. Try to help them to a team title.
He's doing a great job of just kind of smothering him on top here. He had a nice leg Turk. Some people know it as the Navy ride there. I thought maybe he might be able to convert that, but Cruz is a strong kid too. They're both built similarly. But right now, it's Schott kind of taking advantage of the opportunities available to him.
Just staying on his toes, keeping all his weight on top of Cruz. That's good offensive wrestling by Stephen Schott there for the balance of period number 2.
And especially at 220 in the upper weights, right? You don't really wear your opponent out as much at the lighter weights. They do get tired, but at this weight class, you make them bear all that weight.
So, in the third period, choice to Cruz. He will choose bottom. I think there was some hesitation to go underneath. Coach Billman said, get down there. Schott going to go to work on top. See all that weight from Schott right on top of Cruz there. Up, comes to his feet, but quickly returned to the mat by Schott.
Great adjustment, too, by Schott. If you notice, when he came up to his feet, he really attacked the hips well, where your opponent's center of gravity is. And that's really how you get out on bottom. If you can't create separation between your hips and the top opponent, you're not getting out on bottom, whether you're down on the mat or up on your feet. And Schott does a good job of controlling those hips very well.
So back to the center they go. Have to wonder.
Come on, guys, let's both keep working here.
Schott's got to do a little bit more on top. You just heard Larry Dieter encouraging a little bit of action by the wrestlers.
Set, go ahead.
Schott's going to have to get out to the side a little bit here.
Well, by the rule, it's technically you're supposed to be working towards the fall.
Correct.
And riding is not working towards a fall.
Yeah, he's just got both hips covered here.
But you usually get a pretty good leeway with that, I would say.
I would say so.
Probably more so than it should be, because if you want to make this sport exciting for the fans, I would love to see him implement a rule, because there's no riding time, either in high school or college, where, hey, you don't turn the guy in 15 seconds, you start back up on your feet. Because that's where most of the action, and that's where most of the fun scrambles and great takedowns occur, on your feet.
Kind of like freestyle, you go parterre and turn
And
the
a
guy.
lot of people want us to kind of implement that a little bit better, because it feeds our Olympic teams and makes them a better, more prepared freestyle wrestler. So maybe it's not 15 seconds in high school, but maybe it's 30 seconds. Because right now there's no points being scored, and
Set, go ahead.
certainly wasn't as exciting as the first period on their feet.
No.
Set.
So a comfortable 3-0 lead here for Schott, it appears, with 18 seconds to go.
But I completely agree with Schott's strategy of riding him out, and that's the smart decision. He follows the hips very well, extremely well.
So for the second straight week, Stephen Schott's going to pick up a win over Mac Cruz. This time just a 3-0 decision, but it sends Nazareth to a 30-3 lead. We're halfway done. Back with the final 7 bouts right after this. Back inside the 25th Street Gym, 30-3, Nazareth leading Easton. We are underway at heavyweight. Matt Burton for Nazareth, Jaden Thompson for Easton, Kyle Berger and Scott Holman, along with the rest of our Service Electric crew here on a Friday night. Happy New Year, everybody. Go out of bounds and back to the center. If you're just joining us, Nazareth has won 6 of the first 7, including 4 by way of fall. The lone Easton victory, Isaiah Reinert with a 7-5 upset, if you will, at 182 pounds over Drew Cleary. Burton coming off of a 6th place finish at the Hurricane Classic. Jaden Thompson looking for his first win this season.
What's been interesting so far this whole week, Kyle, is most wrestlers that came out from both teams had very similar body styles versus their opponents, even here at heavyweight. Beautiful double by Thompson, as he actually, his own aggressive behavior, taking that takedown out of bounds, pulled his hips over, his feet landed out of bounds. Otherwise, that would have been a 2-point takedown. Look at that.
Almost a cross-country double.
That reminds me of that block from, who's Big Mike, the movie, for the Baltimore Ravens. What's that movie?
The Blind Side.
The Blind Side, where he blocked the guy and took him right out.
So no score with 10 seconds to go.
Way to stay on the legs and drive that over. That was a great effort.
And we're into the second period, no score between Thompson and Burton. Look at Jaden Thompson.
His choice, he chose down. You can let him up if you want. 1 green, we're neutral.
So you heard the play-by-play by Larry Dieter there. Burton choosing bottom. Thompson wants to wrestle on his feet, so an escape, and it's 1-0. At least I think that's what happened.
Yes. Yep.
They haven't put the point up on the scoreboard yet.
Well, I'll tell you what, Thompson doing a nice job. When he reaches for that head, you can see Burton straightens up a little bit, and that's going to be his opportunity for that double. See if he has some confidence in that shot, and he should after that first period. Change, blast double. You think it's coming, Kyle?
Look for a single now, a front-headed arm.
Burton was ready for that. Boy, was he ready. But nice job by Thompson. I thought he was in trouble and possibly going to give up a cradle. was waiting for that double leg there, and he knew exactly what he wanted to do, and he almost executed. But both guys, you know, neither of them are stopping wrestling when they get into bad position, and that's why this is not a 3-2 match right now. It's a 0-0 because of their ability to continue to wrestle. So it's Burton up 1-0 right now on the escape.
15 seconds to go here. 285 pounds in the second period. Crowd urging both of these guys towards some action here. Double attempt again. Burton's going to run out of time before he can spin around.
Burton does a nice job. His hips, he does a good job of reacting. Watch him get his hips really far back and away there and getting Thompson extended. There you see that cradle locked up. Brings it up high, and that might have been the difference there, Kyle, where he brought it up off the mat. Thompson slipped his head out of there.
So it was Thompson's choice to start the third period. He goes neutral. So this is going to be...
So we're 1-1.
No, he chose neutral.
Oh, he chose neutral.
Yeah, so instead of going underneath and trying to get an escape to tie it up, he's going to try to work something here. He wrestled 4.5 minutes in the neutral position with nothing to show for it.
You know, I think a low single attack below the knee is going to maybe be a little bit more effective on Burton than a straight-on double. Burton's shown that he has a good sprawl and he's got heavy hips, and he hasn't even gone to a full sprawl yet.
And no stalling warnings on either wrestler, so Burton can play keep away a little bit here if he'd like to in the final 70 seconds.
And that's what he's doing really well right now, trying to fight for inside control, just hand battling right now, trying not to give Thompson position so he can hit that double again. You see him attacking the wrist now. And that's a good strategy by a heavyweight. If you can attack one wrist, it's going to prevent your opponent from getting both hands on the legs, and there's no way you're going to take Burton down with one hand.
Front-headed arm counter by Burton. He's got what should be the decisive takedown here and a 3-0 lead for Nazareth.
And that was his best sprawl yet. His reaction and timing on that was perfect.
So he will let Thompson out. 20 seconds to go, a 2-point lead for Burton. Thompson needs a takedown.
And you know, when you look at Thompson's ability to get out on bottom that quick, next time he may have a little bit more confidence choosing bottom.
Won't go out of bounds, scattering the Easton cheerleaders in front of the scorer's table. 8 seconds to go. 3-1 lead for Burton. Thompson's going to try to dial something up here.
This is where you need your blast double. You got to go and tap the head and go.
Here he comes.
Good attempt.
And Burton will get the takedown off the counter right at the end, so it will be a 5-1 final for Matt Burton. And it is 33-3, Nazareth leading.
I like what Thompson showed us there. You know, who cares if you lose 3-1 or 5-1? He went after the takedown at the end, and that is a great sign. I think he could actually be very, very good if he just works on his technique a little bit and cleans that up, but he's a good wrestler.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that point, Scott, that he did not limp to the finish there. And you're right, no difference between a 3-1 and a 5-1 loss. Might as well give the effort, and he did.
Double leg at heavyweight is hard to do. You gotta go to single legs. I think if he can add that to his style, it's going to be more effective. But
all right, guys,
we're going from one extreme to the other here, Kyle.
Heavyweights to 106. You saw the matchup. Charlie Bunting, a freshman, and Nolan Fraser, a freshman. And Bunting quickly to the lead with the takedown. And an escape given to Fraser. Matchup of freshmen here. Bunting is 20-4. Went through the meat grinder at the Bethlehem Holiday Tournament. Won 5 straight matches in the consolation bracket to finish 3rd, which is hard to do in any tournament.
Bunting having a hard time getting around. He's having a tough time getting Fraser off the leg. He's got him extended, and it looks like great job by Fraser squaring up there at the end. Problem he had was that you can't spin behind with an arm on the leg. You've got to slide back away, sprawl away, get him off your leg, and then spin behind.
Quick little slick go behind by Bunting. 2-1 lead, has a cradle locked up, it looks like. Trying to scoop the leg and put Fraser on his back.
You know, if you're wrestling Nazareth or Easton this year, you should be recording this match and watching this. One thing I can tell you is Nazareth's going to hit you with these cross-face cradles. Be prepared.
Fraser trying to scurry out of bounds here before Bunting can work the cradle. It looks like the lock has been broken. Bunting will throw a leg in. Right on the edge of the mat here. About 30 seconds to go in the opening period. 2 takedowns already for Charlie Bunting. He has a 20-4 record this year. He was a Valley Junior High champ at 92 pounds last year. He's got the cradle locked back up with 15 seconds to go. Fraser getting big and really making it difficult. You see the advantage in takedowns. Enormous for Nazareth. 16-2 as they go out of bounds.
This kid is tough, man. Watch this right here. Nice shot. He just got great awareness. Little throw by, spin behind. He might be their best wrestler in their program after this season. Nazareth has 8 solid seniors in this program. They are going to be a different team next year. And then you look at Easton. They only have 4 seniors, but half of their lineup is freshmen and sophomores, Easton. So those young wrestlers at Easton can continue to develop. They're going to be pretty good down the road.
This dual meet's almost like a before and after picture, with Nazareth being the after and Easton being before.
And right now you want to be the before.
Yeah.
Right?
So Bunting trying to get the escape here. And he will earn that escape, getting separation. 5-1 lead for the Nazareth freshman.
I mean, you would have to say that this kid, Bunting's tough. There's a guy that's another potential state place finisher for Nazareth in this team. You're looking at the potential for 6, 7 state medalists.
Yeah, I mean, book multiple hotel rooms in Hershey right now. A lot of season left, of course, for Nazareth, but this is the team that is built for Hershey right now. Escape to Fraser. 1 minute to go in the second. And another will go behind the attempt here, and another takedown for Bunting.
Bunting almost wrestling like an Iowa type style here, stuffing the head, getting right back on the attack here. It's not broke, right? Don't fix it. He keeps going to the spin behind.
I was going to say, this is now going to be his, 5th takedown of the match. I don't know that he's ever touched Fraser's leg. It's all been this go behind with the front head and arm and spinning, and it's really good technical wrestling.
And that's, this is very low efficiency wrestling, and that's the first really good shot we've seen from him. And that's what he wants to do, because those easy spin behinds are not going to happen at Hershey. He's got to wrestle the way he's going to compete in the postseason. That type of shot, this type of armbar, is just solid fundamentals.
Yeah. Less than 10 seconds to go here. Bunting trying to finish off Fraser in the closing seconds. Looks like he's going to run out of time, though. He'll get the 3-point near fall, making it 16-4 going into the third period. 6 takedowns, an escape, and a 3-point near fall for Charlie Bunting.
He's letting you up, son. We got 1 minute.
That's a great move. You know what? Why waste time on top? This guy, Fraser's a little bit leechy as a wrestler, hanging on. And take those spin behinds if you can all day long. Now let's see if he can convert this dump maybe in the back points here.
And he kept the far arm, and he's got him in trouble.
2, 3.
And there's the fall. It comes at 4 minutes and 15 seconds. 5th pin of the evening for the Blue Eagles, and Charlie Bunting turns that fireman's carry into a pinning combination. Here's a look at it. Just watch him trap that arm, and it was good night, Nolan Fraser.
I'm awfully impressed with this young man. He does a lot of different things really well. He knows where he's at on the mat. He's going to have a bright future ahead of him. He keeps working hard.
So 39-3 the team score. We go to 113 pounds. Jake Doon, freshman for Nazareth, going against Braxton Apello, sophomore for Easton. Shortchanged him one spot on the podium in our open. He was a 7th place finisher in the state last year, not 8th as I had said incorrectly earlier. He's 7-3 this year.
I think the fans will forgive you for that one.
I throw myself on the sword there. Finished 2nd in the Hurricane, losing in the final to Steve O'Poulin of Shenendehowa, New York, who wound up winning the Outstanding Wrestler Award at the tournament. Poulin is ranked number 2 nationally as a junior, and is already a 2-time New York State champ. Apello in on a single here.
Well, look for the trip here. And there it is, right on the edge. Does a nice job securing the ankles.
Yeah, so a takedown for Apello.
On paper, when we looked at the whole overall dual meet here, this was probably one of the only, maybe few matches. This is probably the only match where we've kind of felt like Easton was favored going in. There was a few toss-ups, but not many. Easton is solid top to bottom.
Apello is trying to get a cradle from a funky position here. Instead, he'll just bust him out of bounds for the restart with 45 seconds to go.
Set. Go ahead, Tom. Set.
So it's been all Nazareth tonight, 39-3. The lone victory coming at 182 pounds for Easton's Isaiah Reiner. 5 pins for the Blue Eagles. Braxton Apello trying to pick up the 2nd bout victory for Easton here. He's ranked number 3 in the state by PA Power Wrestling. District and regional champion as a freshman last year. Doon trying to get separation, trying to hit that standing switch right at the buzzer. They'll go out of bounds as time expires. And did they award 1 point or no?
No, but I'll tell you what, they wanted a stall call. Right here, you can see that was the first takedown earlier in the match here. But there were no points at the end of that period. In fact, the fans wanted a stall call because Apello was pushing them towards the out of bounds line.
Set. Go ahead, Tom.
Which, if there was a few more seconds on the clock, he may have gotten that.
So Doon goes underneath to start period number 2. It'll be a caution on Braxton Apello. He's going to switch sides after the caution.
Set.
You know, he had a very nice shot, got in on the leg pretty easily. I'm surprised he's continuing to go after these cradles, because at the end of it all, after 2 minutes and 10 seconds, he's still only up by 2 points. I think he could have maybe had more success on his feet. Because the momentum right now is with Doon.
Yeah, and he's showing a lot of hustle on the bottom against Apello. Here the Nazareth fans starting to get on the official for maybe a stalling for Apello, kind of taking his time going back to the center. Doon staying on his feet, steps out.
Get the one against. Good, that was smart wrestling by Doon. I thought he was going to try to spin behind, but a wrestler like Apello is going to just grab onto that leg and lock in, and it's going to be a stalemate. So good, smart wrestling by Doon here. Persistence pays off.
The freshman, a 9-5 record, did not place at the Hurricane, but he's giving Apello all he can handle for the first nearly 3 minutes of this match. A 2-1 lead for the Red Rover sophomore. Couple of shot attempts here for Doon.
It almost appears that Apello, you know, he looks like he's gassing a little bit, and then he has his explosive burst.
And there's Doon. Jake Dune takes the lead 3-2.
You're seeing here is, that Apello shoots, gets in on the leg, he scores. Right? Dune shoots, he scores. You've got to attack.
29.4 left in the second period.
And that's what this is going to come down to. Who's going to be the guy on their feet that's going to continue the leg attack?
That return attempt by Dune is going to go ahead and cut Apello. We're tied at 3.
If you're wrestling defensively, you're wrestling not to lose. And right now, in the third period, getting in there, who's going to be the one with confidence in their shot?
It'll be Apello's choice to start period number 3.
I don't even understand why this is even a question. You've got to go bottom here. Look at that nice sweep single here. And what made that successful, especially against a good scrambler, is you stay on the legs. You secure the takedown first and do not let go until you secure that. And that was great execution by Dune.
So Apello chose bottom. Dune cut him to start the period. He trails by 1. No stalling warnings yet in this bout as Apello shoots from distance. Pull it underneath Dune.
Good decision by Dune to go up on his feet there. He's in on that leg again. Puts it up high. Let's see if he can score on the edge here. That's where he's got to be careful, Dune, because if he gets extended on Apello is going to beat you. Right here he's in great position. But you get extended and Apello...
Yeah, he was lucky to catch that ankle before Apello could come back in bounds. Nazareth fans looking for a stalling warning against Apello. I think a couple more shots from Dune should do the trick.
And you can see Apello. Look at him protecting that left leg. That's the leg that Dune was shooting in on. And he's keeping it back a lot farther, which is smarter. But, oh my goodness, you cannot stop wrestling on the edge, even if the cheerleaders are sitting right behind you.
1 minute to go. A 1-point lead for Braxton Apello trying to hang on against the freshman Jake Dune. Another shot attempt. 35 seconds to go. Seconds to go. Apello doing just enough at this point. And it looks like Apello is going to survive barely and win 4-3 over Jake Dune, who gave him everything he could handle at 113 pounds. 39-6 is now the team score as Easton picks up their second victory of the duel.
Well, Nazareth wanted stall calls, but you can't always count on getting two stall calls. Apello wrestled very well. He controlled the ties and he wrestled to win. And that's a strategy. There is a strategy that you can use called stalling. Right?
Yep.
And don't complain about the ref. You either got to get onto the legs and score, but don't expect the ref to gift you the match.
Right. Andreo Farina and Oliver Fairchild, that's your matchup here at 120 pounds. As Farina looking to pick up the early takedown on Fairchild. Nothing awarded yet. As Fairchild tries to thump roll through, Farina comes out with his head high, and he's got takedown for Nazareth.
Let me clarify something here, though, Kyle, for the fans at home, because in no way do I feel like Dune was expecting to get that call. He was wrestling to win. But a lot of the bench over at Nazareth, including the athletes, and that's what you do, you yell stall, you try to get that stall call, because let's be honest, referees are influenced by the crowd.
No question.
And so they were doing their part, but Dune was competing right to the end there, and he just couldn't get in on the leg because Apello was doing a much better job of not giving him space.
A one count there. Remember, Ferena's in control here, even though it's a scramble. With Fairchild, he kind of exposed his back a little bit there. Fairchild has a hold of that right ankle of Ferena.
And Ferena doing a good job making sure that his hands don't touch there, because that could be locking hands. So he's wise to the role here.
Stalemate called there with 33 seconds to go here in period number 1. 2-0 lead for Andrea Ferena. 39-6 lead for Nazareth on the team score.
Well, and when it comes to making refereeing decisions, I'm going to, give that right over to you, Kyle, as a state championship caliber referee in the state of Pennsylvania. You've been doing this for how many years? The refereeing? 11 years.
That's a good stalemate call there by Larry Dieter, who's called a good match tonight. Closing seconds here of period number 1, and Ferena going to try a quick little tilt at the end, but runs out of time. He's got a 2-point lead, and it'll be his choice. Or check that, it's actually Fairchild's choice. He'll go underneath. So look at the action at the end of the period.
Yeah, and Ferena doing a nice job of following the hips. He tried to go for a little tilt there, head under. Good job by Fairchild fighting that. Doing a nice job so far here, only down 2-0.
Fairchild trying to quad the pod up here. It's as far as he's gotten. Good spiral ride on top by Ferena.
And that's where you typically see freshmen struggle against upperclassmen that are pretty good, is down in the bottom position. Actually, I consider that a pretty good success for him, getting that 1-point escape there, and he was really patient. He didn't try to hit a Granby or do anything, because Ferrara can follow the hips really well. He just stayed patient and said, listen, if you don't improve, go ahead and get hit for stalling, otherwise let me up. And that strategy worked well there.
Ferena persistent in the scramble there, gets his second takedown. Looks like he's just going to go ahead and cut Fairchild here.
And Fairchild was wise to give up on that and belly down. Smart wrestling for the freshman.
A 4-2 lead. 30 seconds to go here. Front head and arm for Fairchild. Seconds to go right on the boundary. And they'll go out with less than 1 second to go in the second period. So I guess my question to you, Scott, as we go to the third period here, Nazareth tonight has won all but 2 matches. The 2 matches they didn't win were a 4-3 loss and a 7-5 loss. So they're 3 points away in either direction from running the table here tonight thus far. What sort of a message is that sending to the rest of the Lehigh Valley?
And I'm just looking a lot at how the guys come out and compete tonight, and both teams have done a sensational job. They're just at different levels.
Yeah.
Nazareth is at a different level, and Lehigh Valley, be warned, this is a solid team, not only just dual meet wise, but tournament wise. How often often do you see a team return 5 state medalists?
And one of them not even in the lineup tonight, and Andrew Smith, who hasn't wrestled in a couple of weeks. So they can get him back.
This is a good, very good team. If they can stay healthy and continue to improve, I don't know if I can't think of anybody that can compete with them.
I'm sure, in district duels, if they run into Bethlehem Catholic, that will be a good match.
Yeah.
They don't wrestle in the regular season. The schedule does not provide for that, as we get another takedown here for Farena. An 8-3 lead, 45 seconds to go.
But like you said, even in their 2 losses, they competed extremely well in those losses. So this is a solid team so far, top to bottom.
Fairchild gets the escape. It's a 4-point lead. They'll go out of bounds. 32 seconds to go. Attempt from distance here, kind of out of desperation by Fairchild. Farena is going to try to counter, get a takedown at the buzzer here, but Fairchild's going to hang on, it looks like. Yeah, maybe not. Right at the buzzer. Hey, takedown for Farena, his 4th of the bout. A 10-4 minor decision. 42-6 the team scored. 3 bouts to go here tonight. A good win for the junior Blue Eagle, Andrea Farena. So we go to 126 pounds. Vinny Hebel for Nazareth, Anthony Diallo for Easton the matchup. Hebel 14-6 this year, a sophomore. And Diallo a 4-4 record in his senior campaign. Hebel finished 4th in the Hurricane Classic a week ago. Diallo in on a single leg. Hebel trying to step over around back. Trying to free that left ankle. Diallo hanging on.
Yep, he slipped the shoulder there, so he's going to pick up 2. Nice job by Hebel. I was waiting for Diallo to try to possibly raise that up and maybe come out the back door.
They just got a little overextended there, so Hebel going to work on top.
Boy, nice tight waist there by Hebel, keeping him flat. See the back of the hips down on the back of the thighs are doing a good job when he comes up to his base. That really takes a lot out of you on bottom physically.
Gave Diallo a healthy cross face before cutting him free for a 2-1 lead. We'll snap down and go behind 4-1.
That was a very nice way to put it.
Healthy. Legal. But a little how do you do with 30 seconds to go here in the first period. 4-1 Hebel in the lead. And they'll go out of bounds. Back to the center, 20 seconds to wrestle. Diallo, a senior, 12-11 career record, 4-4 this season.
Go ahead, Top.
Hebel, his first season on varsity as a sophomore with that 14-6 record. Traps the arm there on the switch attempt by Diallo and flattens him out again.
And Hebel's a very good wrestler. It might be his record because of the level of competition that they've seen and the quality of other guys they have on the team.
Yep.
It's really overshadowed quite a bit.
It is. There's a little snap down go behind by Hebel for his second takedown. He'll go underneath to start period number 2.
Set.
separation in the escape. 5-1 lead now for the Blue Eagle 126-pounder. Go behind there on the counter.
Yeah,
Takes down an escape there for Diallo. Neville trying to pop his head out.
He's got a split on. Now it almost looked like he did.
A little awkward finish there, but Hebel comes out on top, has a 8-3 lead now. Now going to work on top with a minute to go.
The Nazareth-Northampton match is going to be another fun one.
And that will be fun indeed. Nazareth,
I think that's coming up either the 15th or might be the 15th to look at the schedule, but they're going to be meeting soon. That'll be a good dual meet.
yeah, I believe Northampton finished third in the team standings, maybe second at the Hurricane behind the Blue Eagles. Here's a look at that takedown after the funky near spladle.
Yeah, it looked like a spladle. He kind of really he leveraged him over. He elevated him over and then came back with that leg and tried to hook it. He had him in trouble for a second, but Hebel got his hips free and was able to capitalize on the takedown.
Off the restart, Hebel is giving Diallo the escape, so it's 8-4. Closing seconds of the second period. Remain 8-4. Diallo has a choice. He'll go down, trailing 8-4 here in period number 3.
Set. Go ahead, Todd. Set.
You know, Hebel's got one of those frames. He's a tall, lanky kid that he might be a kid that you see goes from 126 up to
160 or something like that, kind of like what we saw this year with Drew Cleary going from 132 to 182. Good riding on top here by Hebel, up 8-4 on Anthony Diallo at 126 pounds. 2 more bouts to go after this one. Nazareth has long since clinched the result of this duel. Right at the halfway point of the third period. And there's going to be a stall call on top there with Hebel not really working for the fall, you could say. He says, all right, fine, you want to warn me? We're going to go neutral. So Diallo to his feet now.
I'm okay with that call.
Yep. You give him a minute to do something and get the stall warning.
And you know, it wasn't a bad strategy for Hebel to ride him, because look at some of those scrambles they got into earlier. Diallo did a nice job on it, is doing a nice job on his feet with him. Although, when you got your head down on the mat, that's not a great position to be in, but he's still controlling that arm. But you're not going to score off of that unless you can get Hebel to spin behind. That's not a great strategy when you're down by points. But hey, at least he's looking for it. He's out there wrestling. Hebel with the spin behind there. He goes up 10-5. That was another win for Nazareth.
Yeah, his 4th takedown of the bout. And an escape right at the end to make it 10-6 as the final. 45-6 on the team score. And 2 bouts to go. All Nazareth here tonight at the 25th Street Gym.
Yeah, right there.
At 130 132 pounds. I think it's going to be Nick Foster for Nazareth.
You're green.
And Karan Bryson for Easton.
Good luck, guys. Shake hands. Set.
So a matchup of a couple inexperienced wrestlers here. Kyron Bryson did finish 6th in the district last year as a sophomore, a 5-3 record this year. Nick Foster, this will be his first match for Nazareth. Sophomore.
Well, you see he's got those, trying to cross those arms over on your feet. You got to be careful there with a trip.
Bryson, a 4th place finish at the Hurricane Tournament for Easton last week. There's wrestlers across the state got their favorite Christmas present of all last week with the 2-pound weight allowance that you get after December 25th for the rest of the year. So technically all these weight classes, like this is the 132-pound weight class. It's 134 now the rest of the way.
And I don't think anybody understands that is a Christmas gift.
Outside trip with a body lock here from Bryson.
Oh, nice inside trip there by Foster, but it's Bryson who maintains position there. He's got him in trouble. He could step over and boot the legs in, but he gets a little bit high. Foster does a nice job of just getting out of that and rolling through.
2-2 for Bryson. By my count, that is the first near fall points for an Easton wrestler tonight. He'll finish the period on top, a 4-0 lead after a little electricity midway through the first period there.
Gotta love that. And who would have thought it would have happened at 132 here at the upper body throws? Look at that. Great idea though by Foster. But Bryson, just more familiar with that upper body ties, that is able to, oh, he's getting high here on his spladle. He's got this cranked up pretty good. Looks like Foster's got his head. If he could slip out here, he might be able to pick up a 2-point reversal.
Trying to free his foot as well.
And he's got Bryson in trouble.
Reversal with back points coming.
Holding 3 here. Holding 3.
So it'll be a 5-point move for Nick Foster. The back points
I don't understand why he's holding 3, because that's a totally different pinning combination if he turns him with it. But either way, he awards a 3 here now.
So 5-4 is the score. After Bryson tried to throw a spladle, got a little bit out of position, and Foster just crunched him. Foster in control here past the halfway point of the second period. Trying to lean back in to Bryson, maybe expose his back a little bit.
Yeah, there's a tilt opportunity here. If Bryson doesn't let go here.
Got a 1 count.
And I like how Dieter's letting this situation kind of keep unfolding here. I don't like when they call stalemate right away, unless it's close to the end of the period and one wrestler's up by 1 or 2, but we're in the second period here. That's good. That's good refereeing, allowing the wrestlers to just kind of wrestle through that. Bryson's not going to have success here reaching back though, grabbing ankles and things like that, because Foster's just a little bit too funky. He's going to have to get to his feet.
So a 1-point lead for Nick Foster going to period number 3. It will be Kyron Bryson's choice.
Red down.
He's going to choose the bottom position.
Give him room, son. Give him room.
Foster looked relatively comfortable on top after getting that 5-point move in the early going off the reversal and 3-point near fall. And
And this is tough. It's tough to ride a guy for 2 minutes when you're up by 1 without getting hit for stalling.
Yep.
You really got to do a good job of keeping busy. And right now, that is not working for a fall.
No.
That is just hanging on top. And Bryson should just stay in that. Oh my goodness, that was a great setup by Foster.
And it just took him straight forward that half Nelson. Got the full 5 count. A deep one-on-one. Now it becomes a full Nelson. Great shot there on the camera. With 3 near fall and then 1 for the full Nelson.
You're down, Red.
Dieter right on top of it with that call. Penalty point going to Bryson. 8-5 the score after that penalty point.
Set. Go ahead, top. Set.
There's that position you want to stay patient in. You don't want a Granby roll here because he's going to sink a half in and follow the hips. Right, drops to an ankle. You got to be patient when you have 1 minute and 15 left because if Bryson can just be patient, get to his feet by the 35-second mark or get him hit for a stall call, he's going to back off of that. So he's got to really be strategic here, wrestle smart.
And you also have in the back of your mind, if you're Bryson, hey, I've gone feet to back with this guy already, so you've got that kind of.
Well, that's why I think you should stand up and get to his feet. Yep. Go get into a on your feet scenario where maybe you might win that.
1 minute to go here in the 3rd period. 8-5 lead for Foster.
He's got such great length, Foster, that it's so tough for Bryson. If he doesn't stay wide, Foster's got something locked up here.
Working that half on the left side again is Foster.
See, but you're not going to get the call right on bottom if your head's down on the mat.
Correct.
But you're not going to get that call. You got to stay up in your base, stay strong. You could probably talk more to that.
Yeah, and that's, as an official, you're looking for the bottom guy to have his head off the mat, presenting himself, trying to get an escape. And if you're making that effort to get out, and the top guy is just hanging on, there's going to be stalling. And Bryson just really wasn't able to do enough on bottom there in the 3rd period to draw a stall call, get an escape. So it'll be an 8-5 win for Nick Foster, making it 48-6. Here with 1 bout to go. Our 138-pound matchup. Wayne Wilson, senior from Nazareth, and Brett Scalzo, a senior from Easton.
Good luck, guys. Shake hands. Set.
Wilson 12-6 this year. Scalzo 4-6 this year. As Nazareth looking to slam the door on Easton, a 48-6 lead going into the final bout. They have won 11 of 13 so far.
Nazareth's got to love the Wilson family, huh?
Oh, man.
How many has it been? Is this number 3 or 4?
I've lost count.
But I believe the two of the older brothers are at Harvard. Is that correct? I know at least one of them's up there with Jay Weiss, former Allen High School state medalist who's been the head coach up at Harvard for a number of years. 2 national champions he's coached up there. Doing a great job with that program.
Wilson took 7th at the Hurricane Classic last week. In the consolation round, he pinned Brett Scalzo, his opponent tonight. So this is one of those rematches we talked about at the top of the show. Easton was able to avenge one of those losses as Isaiah Reinert beat Drew Cleary at 182. But Nazareth has won the others going into this final bout of the evening.
Nice takedown by Wilson, and he had Scalzo on the edge of the mat, walked him all the way back in, sort of like a reverse wheelbarrow fashion, keeping him in. So nice effort there by Wilson.
Got a 2-point near fall on that as well. You saw the Takedowns flash at the bottom of your screen there, 29-5. That tells the story of tonight's duel.
You know what? It's not a knock on the Easton program.
No.
Nazareth is just that good. And I'm sure if you talk to Jamar Billman, he'd tell you the same thing, that this is a big challenge for his team. I do think his team showed a lot of guts tonight, and I think that overall they competed pretty well.
Absolutely. This is definitely one of those. Score does not indicate, how good or bad a team is. Just a buzzsaw here. There's a lot of teams that are going to be on the wrong side of the scoreboard against the Nazareth Blue Eagles this season. Wilson to his feet, gets the escape. 3-0 the score.
Scalzo in on a single leg here, and he's got Wilson on his hips here. He might be able to pick up the 2. Stays patient, and he does. Nice takedown by Scalzo. So he's got probably something to prove since the Hurricane Classic.
Oh, sure. Yep, a little revenge on his mind after getting pinned by Wilson. And they'll go out with 1:08 to go in the second period. 3-2 the lead from Blaine Wilson and Nazareth, who's underneath.
Set, go ahead.
Restart.
Set.
Counter here near a reversal for Wilson. Scalzo hanging on a flying leap over Scalzo.
Come on, you can come up with something better than the flying leap. The flying what?
Well, it wasn't quite the flying squirrel.
Okay.
That's from your feet.
You can look that up on YouTube, right? That's a real move that pretty unbelievable, actually.
Yeah. How about a soaring eagle?
How about the flying blue eagle?
There it is. Fly, Eagles, fly. Hopefully on Sunday if you're part of the Bird Gang. 5-2 the score here. 15 seconds to go in the second period.
Great pressure on top here by Wilson. You're not going to get beat if you can keep your opponent flat on bottom. And that's some great riding and top pressure right there.
And we've seen that throughout the lineup tonight for Nazareth. Outstanding wrestling in the offensive position. Not necessarily scoring points, which of course they've done a lot, but finishing periods on top, like we just saw.
Well, and we saw that at 2:20 with Shotty. He did a great job. I think he rode him out 2 full periods, didn't he? Or more than that. He probably would have accumulated about 4 minutes of riding time in that match. That was kind of impressive.
Scalzo chose the bottom position to start period number 3.
And you know what? You're up by 3 points here. Why not wrestle in your strengths? You know what? You can. What, he'd have to give up 4 stall calls to tie up the belt.
Scalzo tries to come to his feet. Wilson's able to bring him back down. They'll go out of bounds. 1:10 to go in our final bout in this duel.
And that's one of the things as a coach I would always emphasize with the athletes. Your opponent has the right to stall. It's an actual strategy that if you're up in the state finals with a minute left and you're up 5-2,
I'm not doing anything offensively.
Yeah, that's a strategy. That's what your coach will tell you to do. Don't be stupid. And you can complain all you want. You have to find a way to score.
Sure, and I mean, think about if this is a state duel right now and you're Blaine Wilson in the 14th bout and you have a 3-point lead and your team has a 3-point lead, what are you going to be doing on top? You're going to be wrestling smart. You're not going to be opening yourself up to something that you shouldn't. And
Exactly.
That's your point.
And they're willing to take the stall calls, right? More than willing.
Wilson's going to come around the back for another takedown.
Yeah, and he got that. You know, Scalzo, to his credit, was being very aggressive, but he stepped into a shot. Wilson did a nice job of stepping right into that and capitalizing on a single leg coming behind there.
15 seconds to go here. A 7-3 lead for Blaine Wilson, looking to finish this match on top. Traps that wrist. And the final seconds will tick off here. And it'll be a 7-3 victory for Blaine Wilson of Nazareth. And a final score of 51-6 for Nazareth tonight. They win 12 of 14 bouts. We'll step aside, come back, recap this one from the 25th Street Gym right after this. Well, 51-6, the final score. 12 of the 14 duels go to the Nazareth Blue Eagles tonight in the 25th Street Gym. And it was quite a statement made by Dave Kroll's bunch tonight. Scott, just a dominant effort by the Nazareth Blue Eagles.
Easton came out and gave it their best shot tonight, but the Blue Eagles, they are legit this year. They have a solid dual meet team, a solid tournament team, and they're a force to be reckoned with this year.
Yeah, we'll look at the recap, and it started at 145 pounds, which, as we said right at the top of the show, if Nazareth had to pick a weight class to start this duel, 145 would be it, and you look at that, 3 first period falls to get things started.
Well, you said it. You said it was Murderer's Row, and that's what they came out and did. Jumped right ahead, 18-0. And it was just, Nazareth just dominated this match from start to finish.
A couple of really good matches there, 170 and 182, split by the two schools. Connor Hersig, a 5-3 win over Dominic Falcone, and Isaiah Reinhardt of Easton getting the Red Rovers on the board with a 7-5 decision. And then as you go through, a good match at 220 for Stephen Schott of Nazareth, and at 113, Braxton Appella of Fries had to hold on for Easton to win 4-3. Then Nazareth closed the duel with 4 straight decisions. Got 6 really good minutes of wrestling from all 4 of those guys.
Yeah, they showed a lot of grit. Both guys from both teams all across the board showed grit, but it was Nazareth finding a way to win in all those matches.
Yeah, they found a way to win right off the bat at 145 pounds. We'll go to the highlights of tonight's duel, brought to you by Rothrock. Deshaun Farber got the start for Nazareth at 145 pounds. A returning state silver medalist wasted no time getting a couple of takedowns and eventually finishing with the fall.
You know, and that's one of the things you saw from Nazareth. That single, they brought a lot of them up high off the mat, got away from the scramble situations. Here you see another single, bringing them up high, takes away the scramble. They did a great job of doing this, and here you see him, he's going to end up hitting him in this tilt. And this was the first of 2 pins from off the same tilt that Nazareth did.
So Nazareth won the first 4, but stopping the bleeding at 182. A really good bout between Isaiah Reinhardt of Easton and Drew Cleary of Nazareth. They traded some takedowns. Eventually, though, it was Isaiah Reinhardt winning for Easton after getting a takedown here in the 3rd period.
Yeah, and that was huge with Cleary getting a little bit high on that. Reinhardt, a state qualifier, knocks off the state medalist. That's a big win for him. And that's a big confidence booster going into the season. But Cleary's going to have something to say about that, too. You can see a nice takedown there.
That one was made off. That was the one right at the buzzer. So Cleary couldn't come up with the takedown. Reinhardt gets the win for Easton. Talk about the senior late in the lineup for Nazareth. But how about this freshman at 106? Charlie Bunting put on a clinic tonight at 106 pounds.
This kid is special. He's got some really high-level talent. He continues to work hard and improve all through high school. He's going to have a great career here. You can see they've got a lot of spin behinds in the beginning, and then he kind of switched off to some more fundamental technique. He had a nice leg attack before this. Then he's finished off with this arm bar here.
He had 7 takedowns in this bout. The final one was this fireman's carry. He trapped the far arm, and it was curtains for Grazer.
We saw a lot of that crossing over the elbows in this match by Nazareth.
So at 113 pounds, Braxton Apello really had to hang on to win, got an early takedown in the first period, and then just kind of had to keep Jake Dune away, who wrestled a really good match for Nazareth.
You see how he shot in on that right leg of Apello. Apello, though, did a great job of switching his leg in the last period and not allowing him to get on that left leg of his, and he 4-3.
Apello, returning 7th place medalist in the state, gets one of 2 victories for Easton in the duel. We skipped the 170-pound match in the highlights because that's our most valuable wrestler, so we'll get to that right now. Presented by Kleckner & Sons, the leader in appliances and electronics. At 170, Connor Hersig in a rematch of last week's Hurricane Classic final against Dom Falcone. This was a good scrap at 170.
And there you see it again, that single leg where they bring it up high, avoid the scramble situations, another takedown on the edge. This was a great, hard-fought bout, MVP, but my MVP too is the Reiner bout and Cleary bout.
We will allow for that. It's 2020. We'll give you 2 most valuable wrestlers tonight. Well, Nazareth sending a statement to the rest of the Lehigh Valley tonight. They're a force to be reckoned with, and maybe that message goes from the East Coast all the way to the west side of Pennsylvania with their tremendous victory tonight here in the 25th Street Gym against the Easton Red Rovers. That's going to wrap things up from here at Easton Area High School as Nazareth knocks off Easton. So now for my partner, Scott Hovan, our director, Dwayne Long, the rest of our fantastic Service Electric crew, Kyle Berger saying Happy New Year. So long, everybody.